I see Jesus. I see Jesus in this place, and I see Jesus. I see Jesus. I see Jesus in this place, and all I want to do, all I want to do, all I want to do is to worship you. Worship you. I see Jesus. I see Jesus. I see Jesus. I see Jesus. Yes, it's Jesus everywhere. I see Jesus in this place, and I see Jesus. I see Jesus here and there. I see Jesus. I see Jesus. I see Jesus. Oh, in this place. It's Jesus. It's Jesus. All of the sun, the moon, the stars cry Jesus. It's Jesus. It's Jesus.
At least she's showing on you.
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure being with you this evening. This is the True Wellness Connection, broadcasting from the True Word television station. My name is Elizabeth Brimoh, and I will be your host this evening. We are so happy to have you. I'm not alone this evening. I have two wonderful co-hosts by my side, and I'm going to start with the one by my left, Miss Claudine Salumu. Introduce
Yes,
yourself.
hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Claudine Salumu, and I'm so happy and excited today to join you again on our last show of the year.
Yeah.
So I am pretty much sure we're going to have a good time, as you can see what's going to be happening. So please be connected, share the links, let all of us see what we have been doing for over the years. So stay connected.
Thank you so much. And to my right, we have Pastor Ngozi Iheka.
Always
Introduce
a pleasure.
yourself.
It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm Pastor Ngozi Iheka, the lead pastor of a House of New Hope Ministry with my darling husband. Thank you all for always joining us, always tuning in every Tuesday. We are glad to have you, and we are looking forward to having a wonderful time with our lovely guests and wonderful guests today. So tune in and try to invite somebody to be present.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Today is our last day of this show this year, and we were just talking about looking back from the beginning of the year till today. We can definitely say the Lord has been good to us. We have lots of guests. We've talked about lots of topics. So today we are going to go through some clips, and we want you to call your family, husband, call your wife, call your children. Let everybody be by the TV stand so that we will be able to discuss together about how we've been blessed throughout the year. The Lord has been good to us in this TV station. And you know what? We are still running. We are still having this show just because of you, our viewers, our audience. So we want to say thank you to you. Thank you so much for your contribution, for suggestions, for questions, for liking our show, loving our show. We say thank you. We are so grateful. And you've helped us through the year. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling others, your friends, your co-workers about this show. We are very grateful. Now, for this evening is going to be a relaxed show. However, we want you to contribute. We want you to ask questions if there is any. And we want you to love and like our show. So please try to enjoy the clips. And after a few clips, we are going to talk about what we've watched. So we will call on Apostle Jerome to key us in.
Finding another meaning or interpretation to it is really, really important. It's like you try to redefine the moment for yourself.
Yes.
You try to give it a name for yourself. Like you are saying, for somebody believing God for a husband, or somebody believing God for another child. I can't myself. You know, I had my baby. And I remember, because some people don't understand. They don't understand what it means. You will see people that will become, oh,
Where's
what are
another
you
one?
with? Yeah.
Yeah.
When is another one coming? What are you doing? And they forgot it's not by our strength, it's not by our power. They will forget to think what that situation means to you.
Is governed from the spirit realm.
Yeah.
To be ignorant of this is the worst ignorance.
Yeah.
Is the one to be ignorant of spiritual warfare is the beginning of bondage. I'll put it in a different way. To be ignorant of spiritual warfare, especially in marriage, is the consolidation of bondage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bondage that used to be in the air will now grow foundation, grow roots. because of that ignorance that is not there. When you begin to observe that there is, normally you are supposed to get married, and after getting married, things are supposed to go from one to, there are possibility for challenges in life. Life has different seasons. But when seasons come and seasons stay, when there is a negative season being perpetuated, especially within marriage, then there is problem somewhere.
That's right.
When season stays.
When season begin to endure beyond normal, then there is something wrong somewhere.
Have you seen those kind of, and how does it sound to you? Anyone can answer.
Well, in my opinion, speaking for the ladies, I feel like we would, like, for girls our age, like, for us, we wouldn't be, like, doing that, because, like, it's not very smart, and, like, like, boys aren't smart. They're, like, as you said, like, they don't know anything yet. They don't know what's going on. So, like, they're just there, and then two girls are just here, like, battling. I feel like it's just kind of, like, it's not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. And, like, being jealous is also, can be a sickness, too. And I don't think it's healthy to be fighting over someone that probably doesn't even care about you as much as you do, because you guys aren't in the same level of maturity yet. So I would say that, like, girls my age are probably just looking, some girls my age are just bored and have nothing to do, so they're just looking for conflict. That's what most people do, and I kind of understand that, because some girls are very, like, they're insecure and like seeking attention and stuff like that. Sometimes you can't just trust everyone. Like, some of your friends, they can seem like a happy person when they come to your face, but behind their back they're really a snake. So I guess I figured out that one of my friends are not the person that I think they are. I found out they're not trustworthy. So they go and tell a person, or they go and tell my crush, and he has a girlfriend, so he goes and tells the girlfriend that I like him. Then he sends me a text saying, "Oh, I heard you like it. Oh, you would never do. You would never. You're not my type. You're not in my league. I have this perfect girlfriend. You never fit in there. You're never as good and pretty as her." I was like reacting. I was reacting to that comment. I was like, who told you this? Why? And then I realized, like, I know I have a crush on very nice guys. And I know that he wouldn't send this message. Then I had a feeling. Then I told I told my friend, and she's like, that was not him. That was his girlfriend. She's like, that was not him. That was his girlfriend who sent the text. So I realized it was his girlfriend who took his phone to text me.
Oh, okay.
Questions? Wow. That was a good remembrance. What do you think about the clips?
The clips are so wonderful to be able to look back and to see what we have spoken, to see the guests that we have invited and how much they have touched our life. So, like a little bit of that man of God who talk about how ignorant can be, can be an issue in marriage. All those things are the things. It shows how much we touch every corner and every area of the life of people. So, allowing the kid to express themselves. Those are the areas that we, as a Trueness Connection, we do focus to make sure we don't only let the parent grow around, we grow together with our children. So there's, it was very wonderful to be able to hear back what, especially hearing from the kids, which is the area that's of a challenge for all of us parents as we have raising teenagers. And it was kind of wonderful. And also sometimes we hate people's feelings without even knowing. We touch every areas, Somebody coming to ask you, "Oh yeah, why? When are you gonna have another kids?" without knowing that kids are blessing from God. They came whenever they want. So those are the areas that we really like to focus. Like when you are talking, be mindful. Are you blessing somebody? Are you hurting somebody's feelings? So 12 Connection is all about building community, building family, be mindful of who we are and how we live in the community in the way that is impactful. That's what I would comment on that.
Wow, thank you. Pastor Ngozi.
It was so cool. It's so cool to look back. That's why the psalmist said, if we can think about the goodness of God, if we can look back and realize that there are things you will be able to do differently. It is an opportunity to look at it again and see how far we have come, and to be able to reassess, think deep again regarding some of the things we have really discussed. I love the issue of the kids. You know how they were able to identify the fact that, oh, she's not my friend, because we can be lost in the crowd.
That's
but
right.
That sense of discernment was there, and she was able to come to that place to say, this is not right. This is really not a good friend, because most times we get so carried away because of the outer surface, and we just look at it from the outward rather than paying attention to step back a little bit and reassess things and allow your spirit to speak, allow your inner self to really speak. So it was so cool to hear that from a young girl, to be able to say, I know this one was not my friend, and to be able to see what really matters to them. That was so cool. And I love the other aspect of it. We was talking about spirituality. You know, people always talk about what do you mean? How do you know it's spiritual? How do you know? It could be somebody like you, people that are under medical, they try to medicalize all experiences. That could be a psychological, emotional, forgetting the spiritual aspect of it. So I was so happy to hear it again. When something have exceeded a certain amount of time, you should know that something is not right there. Yeah, and for you to say, when you look at a child or in your marriage and you find out that it's okay to be angry, but this one is getting out of hand, out of control. You know that there is a spirit of anger, spirit of wickedness that is coming on to disorganize, and that's the time to get on your feet. You find out that you're becoming too depressed. Even the jealousy aspect of it is okay to be a little bit jealous, but when you find out that this jealousy now is breeding a lot of thought inside of you, that's a time to say, hey, call a friend. We talk about seeking for support. Seek for support. Go out there, talk to somebody. Don't be afraid. So that's the time for somebody to get up and say, no, I have to do something about this situation, because this is getting out of control. And going back again about my experiences was so cool to watch. We always allow people to paint the pictures of our life and the pictures of our experiences. So hearing it again now was so cool to tell myself and tell somebody watching, or that we watch it later. Don't allow people to paint the picture of your life or your challenges.
That's right.
Allow yourself to be the masterpiece, that we put a name to it. With the help of God, because if I give it a meaning, I give it a name, it's not going to affect me, because I know it shall come to pass. So it was so cool. It was so cool to take a look at it again.
One thing that touches me on this one, I like in our show, whenever we speak to the audience, most of the time we speak to ourselves.
Yeah.
The same way that we speak to the audience, come back to speak to us.
Yes.
So as we live our everyday life, that's why people may wonder, why are these ladies so committed to this show? It's because it takes a lot of energy for us to be able to share what we share with you.
Yeah.
So that energy that we spend trying to share with you, it builds ourselves up.
Yeah.
I like this, when I look back to see that man of God say, to be ignorant of spiritual warfare in a marriage is a bondage.
Yes.
So that every single day life, like myself as a wife, in everyday life, I have to be able to look at that man of God say that when there is anything happening in the marriage, we should be able to look at the spiritual aspect of it rather than focusing on what is wrong. Because when you look at the spiritual aspect of it, then you will be able to come down. You'll be able to take a bucket of water and then drink. and they cool down.
And fight the good fight of faith.
And they fight the good fight of faith.
Yes.
So that's why when we look back, those audience or those guests that we bring, they don't speak only to the audience. They speak to us.
Yeah.
I realize that on a daily basis. I have grown so much in maturity just because of listening of the guests that we do bring here on the show. So
That's so cool.
so cool.
Thank you so much.
What about you?
Personally,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all the clips, but the one that really touched me was Apostle Paul when he was talking about spiritual warfare and seasons. We all pass through seasons in our life, but when there is a negative season and it stays, an individual doesn't realize that, oh my goodness, I'm not dealing with ordinary things. I'm dealing with spiritual warfare. So it's an eye-opener that spiritual warfare is something that is going on. And we need to be conscious of it in our families, in our homes, within relationship. So
And,
that is so good.
and life generally,
Yeah.
even some, like there is something he said about understanding the seasons of the times, okay, so that you don't allow it to pass you by. And I remember one show we did here about being provoked to action, you know, because when you think about what is really happening, it's going to help you channel your action in a very positive rather than negative way. Because if we don't understand those things, you might be fighting when you need to be calm. You might be calm when you need to fight the battle. You know, it was interesting.
There's
Okay.
also an area we want to, before we end this part, there's an area I want us to focus on next year by the grace of God. We really want to be able to hear from our children.
Yeah.
Bring the kids here on the show, different age, stage. What we heard from the females, what does boys sees life in general, you know, and I think it's something that we can work on next year by the grace of God. Hear from our children will be great.
And also, Apostle Paul, if you are watching, book us. We are going to call you. We invite you over again. So thank you so much. Apostle Jerome, we are ready. Questions after questions. Imagine today, can you tell me how many questions you've answered inside you? The patients are they're asking you some things. Life is asking you things.
So I will come back to you on that. So Mr. Patrick, a man with so many heart, do you mind to tell us a little bit about different forms of this domestic violence and what is really all about? How can somebody be able to identify and say, oh, this is an abuse? Because using this word violence or domestic is a little bit vague. So do you mind to break it down a little bit for us and for our audience?
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, and thank you for inviting me and talk about this subject. As both of you have mentioned, this is a very, very important subject that quite often has been kind of swept under the rug in many situations because people do not sometimes relate to the image of a male figure being abused. So for some reason we have instilled in ourselves the idea that the man is the physical person and he abuses the woman, but the reverse is not true.
Something just goes fishy in the marriage, and the woman become confused. A woman even who is equipped with that knowledge of that you need to submit it to your husband, everything, the knowledge, you have it. But when a man is not playing their role, a woman gets confused and they get lost in that particular marriage.
Yeah.
There's one thing that my sister just said, and maybe our brother will gonna answer to add. He says some men have lost their roles in the marriage, leading to the women now taking over, which shouldn't be that way. So really waiting brings a lot of challenges, because sometimes the spirit of doubt also can attack you. You are waiting, and there's what if. Yeah. When what if begin to come, then you're gonna start to feel like now there's something you wanna do to help God, and that's where most of people will do lose the battle. So when you are waiting, really, you have to be at the place of being optimistic, knowing that I am waiting, I'm trusting God for this situation to be over. I'm trusting God for my marriage to be restored. I'm trusting God for me to conceive. I'm trusting God for the best future. Now, when you are trusting God, waiting on the Lord, there's a lot of challenges that you have to face. But the victory will come only when you are able to overcome those challenges. Which means don't go in the wrong direction in the waiting time. Don't try to help God in the waiting time. Don't try to bring your own wisdom to kick in, because most of time, as a human being, right, you are like, I'm gonna do this, I'm smart, I can do this, I can do that. But at the same time, sometimes God put you in the position of waiting. So there is one thing we need always to come up to know. God will never allow a situation beyond what you can handle. God will know when your limit came to the end, and God will be able to resolve your problem.
Thank you so much, Pastor Ngozi.
That was quite interesting. Why waiting? The Lord will never forsake you.
That's right.
It was quite emotional. And for somebody there who is waiting, who is believing God for one thing or the other, that's a good reminder that God will never forsake you. Write the vision down. Make it plain. Focus on it. Confess on it. Speak what you're expecting, what you are believing God, the promises of God. Meditate on it day in and out. It must surely come to pass. Refuse to quit. Refuse to give in to the lies of the enemy. Refuse to give in to that difficult situation, the challenging situation. There are options that will be coming while you are waiting, but the best thing is to soak yourself in the word of God and surround yourself with people that will boast your spirit, not people that will feed the word of flesh to you. Because while waiting, there's something important. Any decision you make that at that point of waiting can turn to good or bad. So that's why while you're in that period of waiting, be careful on the people you are surrounding your life with, because they might cause you to make a mistake. But if you believe, it said weeping may endure for a night, but joy must surely come to pass, and it will come in the day. The Lord will never be late. So I really love that show, and I knew there is a lot of people right now facing one challenge or the other, or it looks like God is not going to come, or it looks like God has forsaken you, that the world has come to an end, or people might be laughing at you, asking you, where is your God? I just want to encourage you, just hold on. God is faithful, and he will never fail you. He will make his face to shine upon you, and everybody laughing at you we come back to rejoice with you. Then another thing I like, Minister Ifeanyi, thank you for coming to talk about men, the role of men in a home. We can't do without men. You know, some of us women believe now that we can do without men. Okay, well, it's not possible. Or when a woman is not doing it right, we try to challenge them. I think it's good for ladies to go back when you find out that their man is not really responding or going up to moving to the expectation or fulfilling their role. Ask yourself, how can I help? While I was coming here today, I was thinking about marriage. While I was driving here, and I was thinking about the plan of God for marriage. The plan of God for marriage is for couples to have peace, to have joy, to be a blessing to each other. Because the Bible says Adam was alone, and God said, I don't want you to be alone, and brought a Pastor Chris to me. And it's our responsibility, two of us, you know, to be a blessing to each other. Rob me, you know, I rob you so that we grow together. But there are so many things that have made men to lose their position. And some of them, I know some of them we can blame the men, but some of them can be blamed by outside forces beyond them. So I pray that the Lord will help us to balance it there. If your man is not living up to expectation, ask yourself, how can I help? And if you are a man that you are not living because of one challenges of the other, instead of being aggressive and angry, reach out to your wife so that two of you can sit down and talk and see how you can help each other. Because it ties back to the domestic violence. Most men, because of their inability to fulfill their God-given role and the way the women have treated them. I knew some women, when they have money, they colo, you know, and some of them find it difficult to manage that a little power. And they felt the system is giving them. So when they get a little bit of that, it can result to domestic violence. But no matter what is going on between a man and a woman, whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, I want to leave something with our audience today. Remember, there are seed in that union. There are children in your union. That when there is an issue of domestic violence, it's not about you. God is expecting couples to raise a godly seed. So whatever you, the husband or wife, can do to resolve your issues and seek for help and raise for a godly seed. Because if you miss it, if we miss to raise a godly seed for Christ, for God, no matter how righteous you are, you have destroyed generations. Because that seed we raise is going to grow and they're going to impart you. And you see the cycle over and over and over. So I pray that the Lord will help us. It's so good to watch this. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it was just amazing. Like, I like the part of waiting, while waiting on God. I'm waiting on God, though. At that time when we were doing the show, there was nothing I was waiting on God. But this time I look back and say, hey, God, oh, may you help me overcome challenges. Because when you are waiting on God, challenges comes in. Your own wisdom comes in. Then, what wisdom are you going to apply during your waiting moment? That's right. The waiting moment, God is sitting there on the chair, he's just watching. And sometimes he allows the challenges to come. It's like, oh yeah, I know Claudine is my daughter. She can face it. So this is the time when we're on a waiting moment that we have no room to mess up. But that's why it's so important to recap. When you go back, you recap on every scripture you have ever heard. That's like, you know, when you're waiting on God, right? What scripture do you have that is strengthening you right now? Because when you are waiting on God, the end is God being glorified during my challenges. When your challenges is not bring the glory to God, my dear friend, you have failed and you have disappointed God. So that's why we need to be able to understand that. I love our show because whatever we say today will speak to us in the future. And when it comes in the future, we'll be like, oops, oh yeah, I remember that woman of God spoke this. Or I remember on that show it was like this. So that's the reason why we are so committed to the True Honest Connection. It's not all about how much we touch the life in our community. It's how much it touch back to ourselves. I would say is a therapy to us. It's a therapy to myself. And other things, this show about the violence against men. I had to borrow with you, my dear pastor. I was like, no. And also, hey, Pastor Ngozi is a defender of men. Hey, if you are a man listening to me, any present you have forwarded to Pastor Ngozi. He's a defender of men like no tomorrow.
Everybody.
How can a woman abuse a man?
That day you were defending men.
Hey,
100%.
I will just get angry. So I'm defending men. What can women do to abuse men? And it was funny to hear that.
Yeah.
The truth is, yes, women also are able to abuse men.
Yes.
It's just not happening as much as because maybe we don't have forces. But when a woman can abuse you, it doesn't need the energy. Oh no, it doesn't need like the physical energy the same way men use the physical energy.
No, men go through a lot. You will say now I'm talking about men. Men go through a lot, but the society is not allowing them. You know, if a man comes to tell you, oh, my wife beat me today, the way you look at that man is like, what is wrong with you? So they're dying in silence. So let me be an advocate for men. But I love ladies, you know, because I have worked with all of them. So it's a balance. It's balance.
We love men too. Come on. Without men.
So let there be peace and unity. It's not about the man or woman. God just wants us to live in peace with all men. Okay, but men, I'm defending you. Make me proud.
Yeah.
And my ladies, I love you.
We know
Something I really appreciate about this clips is that when we are talking about violence against men, it's not something that we hear constantly. You know, women, we hear violence against women.
We scream.
But we are talking about Pastor Ngozi supporting men. We really appreciate you. Maybe you brought that topic. So thank you for that, because it was a topic that really opened our eyes to a lot of things going on. So men, we are not taking you for granted. We really appreciate you. And to men that are going through one challenge or the other, especially in their marriage or in a family setting, please try to talk to someone. Men bottle things up
And explode.
For
us, it's
try to look for a friend that you can open up your mind to, or you can go and see a counselor or a therapist. It's going to help you in the long run. So please try to talk it out, say it out. It's going to help you. So thank you for that, Apostle Jerome.
And there is another thing, Claudine, you were saying about why waiting. You know, something I love about waiting period, it speaks a lot about who you are.
Oh, yes. That's
why waiting? If you are the one that is always, oh, I'm calm, I'm peaceful, I am a Christian, I can sing praises from morning till night, the husband is so loving, you will be tested in that mountain of waiting. That's when your faith, your dignity, your integrity, your value, everything about you will be tested at that mountain. And if you can be able to come out of it successfully, it will turn to a message.
Oh, you get a crown.
Rather than
God the crown you with another message. I'm looking forward to that.
Amen.
Apostle Jerome, we are ready.
This brings us to another question. Can you be a spiritual person without being a prayerful person?
I think you can.
How?
How you can is because everybody is built in with the purpose from God. From the time you are born as a child, the right and wrong you already know. And again, it's there, it's already there, it's for you to use it. That spirit is already built in you. Either you are a grown-up or not.
So let me start with physically. How can you as individual, let me start with you, Auntie Kenny, physically, how can you experience personal growth?
I think physically, we all have to remember that it's only one life to live. First of all, if you're able to accept yourself, or you need to work on yourself physically, maybe you're thinking you are not good enough, or you are conscious of your weight. There's nothing wrong about that. For you to feel, let me go and lose weight.
Yeah.
Though it will take your discipline to do that. Everything, like I said, being physical, definitely, is for you to know, is this good for me? That will make me have my mental health leading to my happiness in life.
That's right.
Okay?
Matthew 7:7, Jesus said, ask anything, anything you need.
Yeah.
I still believe in miracles. I still believe in God changing situations.
Amen.
Ask God. Then number 2, you have to have an open-minded conversation with your husband. Tell him how you feel. Tell him how the situation, the negative situation, is affecting your relationship and the marriage. You should also, in that process of having that discussion, empathize with him. Because it's a different thing for a man who is irresponsible to be in the same boat with you and the man who is responsible to be in the same boat with you. The man who is responsible and then somehow is no longer able to provide, not deliberately, will see reason.
Yes.
You put more effort into like trying to change the
support,
situation. You understand? So, and like I always want to tell people, you don't need to get to that point. You don't need to be in the same boat with somebody who is irresponsible to start trying to look for how to patch up the whole situation. But for those who are already in it, this is what you should do. You talk to God, you talk to your husband, you have to have discussion. Then you can also explore the avenue of speaking to a marriage counselor.
A man need to protect. You know, we women, we look up to men. You know, they are like, you know, the way umbrella is. When you are going in the rain, that is the way men are to women. You need to protect, shield her from risk. Protect her, let her know that, oh, I have a backup.
To how somebody else has provoked you.
But most of the time, it's just the reaction they will be looking at. They will not want to look at what started the reaction. And that is very important. Now, back to this provocation. Self-talk, like you said, is so important. And that is where you, for me personally, that is where the power of I am come into play. I have my own I am that I say every single day, countless time in a day. And this is it. I am blessed. I am prosperous. I am redeemed. I am forgiven.
Beautiful.
I am healthy. I am whole. I am talented. I am creative. I am confident. I am secure. I am disciplined. I am focused, prepared. I am qualified. I am motivated. I'm valuable and free.
Wow.
I am determined. I am equipped. I am empowered.
Yes.
I am anointed. I am accepted. I am approved. I am a child of the Most High God. And I will become what God wants me to be. Amen. I say that any time of the day. Your own I am may be different, but have something. Your home may be, oh, I am beautiful, I am attractive, I am loved. It may be 3 or 4 things. It shouldn't be as long as my own, but provocation led me to that.
How do we turn that provocation into maybe a message, into maybe changing the life of that person who's provoking you?
What is greater? Always ask yourself this question. What is important in this moment? Okay? My feelings, or to find my part, or to find your life. You know, people don't want to hear when you tell someone, oh, forgive. When you tell somebody, let go. Okay? There is always this sense of resistance. Are you trying to tell me something bad happened into my life? I should let it go? Okay? We are always wants to dwell in the pity. We always want to marry the pain, the bitterness, the brokenness. We always want somebody to, oh, you have every right to remain there. But if you remain there, you can't grow.
Thank you so much, Apostle Jerome. Oh my goodness. All these clips are just challenging, encouraging. What do you think, Mama Claudine?
There's a lot of that was spoken. Okay. It's amazing. And one thing that caught my attention, the first thing is communication. Communication, how we communicate with each other. So we are all reminded that as you communicate with each other, we need to be able to validate each other. You know, when somebody tells you, I feel this way, you know, get out. No. Pay closer attention. Because that person who's telling you how he feels or he's expressing his anger or whatever it is for you to come closer and validate and try to know more of what is happening in this person. And most of the time for us as African, we have this attitude of dismissing. Dismissing feelings like, oh yeah, it's not just easy, it's in control, just go relax and, you know, get a glass of water, you'll be fine. You know, something like that. You can't dismiss when somebody feels this way. Just say, first of all, you have to acknowledge, I'm sorry that you feel this way. I am sorry that I made you feel this way. What I meant was A, B, C, D. But you don't treat that person as crazy because whatever you made the person feels to you is irrelevant. But you're going to have to understand that feeling is subjective. How I feel to you may be nothing, but to me it will be mountain. So we need to learn to validate. When somebody listen, you don't have to argue or defend or whatever. Whatever sound is stupid to you as I'm speaking to you, just cherish it, just, you know, acknowledge it. That is going to be really helpful in the way we communicate with each other without having to argue. You don't have to like how I feel. I may feel it may look stupid to you, but oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way, even though it's stupid to you, but to me, it's a mountain. So we need to learn to validate each other, especially in our relationship, in the couple. When somebody say, I'm mad, don't say, are you crazy? No, just accept that the person is mad, and they see how you can help, you know, and make things easier.
Or you don't have to feel that way.
No, you don't have to feel that way again. They would come also to provocation. Oh, I like this topic of provocation. It's amazing. So, like, if I look back for what you were saying, like when you are being provoked, you have the power to decide how you wanna feel about you provoking, what is being provoked. Some people that provoked you can lead you to get to know the best out of you. If somebody provoked you by not providing you for your need, that may lead you to go do a job search and they be more financial independent so that you don't go through what you have been going through. If you have been financially abused, that should not pull you back and call yourself an abuse or blame somebody else. What best can you get out of that situation that made you mad? And the other best is, I like what our sister said, what do you speak to yourself? When you're being provoked by a negative comment or statement about you, oh boy, you have never known how to flower yourself. I am blessed, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm smart, I'll make the sky is the limit, I'm this. When you know how to talk, anger will not be there. You're gonna still be happy, because remember, don't allow anything to take your happiness away. Somebody may provoke you with an intention to pull you down, to make you feel low, to make you feel nothing. But do you go by what somebody else said or think about you, or you go by what you know about yourself? Because you are the only one who knows the strength that is inside you. It's up to you now to bring those strength up. Remember, when you cannot sell yourself to the expense of somebody else. No, you don't allow yourself to go down so that somebody else can feel better. No, that is no, it's not something you should be doing for yourself. Also about personal growth. Like when the challenges comes, let's bring you to personal growth. How do you grow into these things? Because everything is all about you. Never ever entrust your joy or your happiness in the life of somebody else. That somebody else also is looking for his own joy. And you want to be mad because somebody else have to make you happy. The happiness is within you. you can determine whether you want to be happy or you don't want to be happy. Other things is spirituality. Can you be spiritual without being prayerful? That was a very challenging question.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah, because you're a pastor, you're going to tell us a little bit more. Can you be spiritual? First of all, being a spiritual, number one, is just to know that your life that you have, there is a bigger God who controls it.
Yeah.
So remember that your wisdom can be limited. But if when you are prayerful now, is when you have a backup. You say that when a thing doesn't seem to be going right, you can pray. When you pray, when you make your needs known to your maker, now you are at peace. So what does it mean? When your car is broken, what do? You take it to the maker. We have different brand of cars. If you can't take Toyota, you take it to this, to this, to this. For us as children of God, our maker is God. When a troubles in life comes up, hey, you realize that your strength, your energy are exhausted.
That's right.
I go to the maker and I drop off this car. Go fix this problem. I can't fix it anymore. You know? So that's how we say, our God is our maker. When the issue challenges in the life, it's not time for you to say, I'm done. You are never done yet. Because the maker knows every pieces that makes you up. How you are happy, how you get angry, what you can handle, what you cannot handle. When you get to your maker, but you have to be able to trust that my maker knows. Put it at the feet and
Have
relax.
a relationship.
And they put your feet on top of another one. And they wait.
Be careful.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You have
just-
to have a relationship.
Yes. But you cannot go to your maker who don't have a relationship. Why do I take my car to the owner? Because I know my relationship, I bought this car from them. That always is sold. When I go to them, I go with confidence. This is your car. It's giving me trouble. It's the same thing. Do you have a relationship with God? For you to only call God if you know who he is and the place he occupies in your life.
Yeah.
If God is somebody that you go like witches, you know some witches, you go to see a witch only when the trouble comes. But our God, we have a relationship on a daily basis, so that you feel like you are a sweetheart child to you.
So you can be you have answer is so you can be spiritual without being prayerful.
Yes, you can be spiritual
It's so
because being a prayerful also is another level of spirituality. It's another level of growth in the spirituality. You know, the prayerful woman I am today is not the prayerful woman I was in last year. That's why sometimes when a trouble comes to you, God brings trouble so that you can reconcile yourself to come back to me. Then you're gonna go because you're gonna realize you have a maker.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when everything's flourish the way we want, we don't remember God.
Yes.
We think that we are wiser enough. We think that we can do it by ourselves. But you can get to the time whereby you have used every wisdom that within you care to resolve an issue. And then the time you go to you, maker, then they pray for you. You're going to start to have even 21 days fasting. And God is happy about that.
Some days I feel for God.
Yeah,
forgot.
it's not easy.
Yeah. Because we always run to him at all times.
That's right.
And he's so compassionate.
And God is open, and God is a strategic. He allows the situation in your life so that you can run to him.
Yeah.
But it's the only way that he can reconcile ourselves to us. Remember, it's just like our GPS. When you go wrong way, he has his own way to bring you back
Yeah.
to the right track.
And sometimes they use issues. I like the discussion of the personal growth. Personal growth. You know, we are talking about self-love. Why that topic is so important? Because of us. As a human being, you have to love yourself.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, Mark 11:31 said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you are not growing, if you are not spending a lot of resources for yourself, how are you going to give us something to somebody? You can only give what you have. So spending time on yourself, on your emotional well-being, loving yourself, not to being too judgmental, criticizing yourself will help us to reach out to others. You know, help us to love somebody else, love your partner, your children. Because if you're not spending time in developing them, be mindful of what you are saying. I love the way Star Lizzie was blastering and beautiful and fearful and wonderful, man, because what she was doing, and I love that, and I'm doing that, you know, because she's feeding herself. Psalm 23 said, my cup runneth over. If your cup is not running over, you can't give out. And go and check if there are issues around us personally, because the cup is half full. And they are trying to give out of a half full tank. Giving out of a half full cup, you'll be stressed out, you'll be depressed, you'll be angry. So spending time to grow yourself, develop yourself mentally, spiritually, physically means a lot.
That's right.
It helps you to serve. It helps you to serve with love, with joy, non-judgmentally. Even if you are giving and people are not responding back, it doesn't bother you at all, because you know your cup is running over. It's running with love. It's running with compassion. It's running with wisdom. It's running with forgiveness. People, you have the peace of God upon your life. So, Sister Kenny, thank you for that discussion. That was so good, and I love what Minister Fanny was saying. I was so encouraged to hear the mind of men through a man. Yeah, because this show was telling us what a man was thinking. It's not just we women that we are talking. He was giving us the strategy on how to win battles at home. You know, there's something he said, always ask. The Bible says if you ask, you will receive. They always go and ask God. That's another thing with having a relationship. Then he said communication. Yeah, so hearing a man tell women what they want, how they want to be communicated with, how they want to be approached was so cool. You know, because sometimes women, we can go, yo, you know, we can just, the water will be running.
We are blessed.
We are blessed with that. We are talking without giving them opportunity to talk. So, but hearing from that man that said, oh, men want, when you come with openness of mind, and they make room to listen to us. That was really cool. It was so enjoyable. And then another show that was so interesting, that have really helped me a lot in my own personal, is being provoked to action. Instead of allowing anger and bitterness to rob me of my day, of my joy, I always stop to ask myself, what is the message here? What is it telling me here about myself? Because when I think about the story of Hannah, without that provocation, there won't be someone. That thing stick to me, because it was that provocation that lead Hannah to seek after God, to talk to God as never before. And as a result of it, there was Samuel that is highly celebrated. Because of your own challenges, you went back to school and said, no, that is not where it's going to stop. So we had a lot of discussion around that, being provoked to action, to say, like you said, I'm not settling in this poverty. Oh, people have mocked you financially. Instead of being angry and sad, you know, it provoked you to say, okay, what am I going to do? God, lead me, and you'll be divinely guided to find out something that will be a blessing to all that, because there is a lot of visions, products there to be manufactured. There is a lot of talent. There is a lot of empires to build that is buried under pain. And if you can step back and look into their pain, their disappointment, their rejection, you will find out that behind that pain, behind that insult, there is a push. God is trying to push you out of your comfort zone into a place of your divine elevation and breaking forth and breaking. So that was so cool. I mean, yeah, and having my sisters here, oh my goodness. so
No,
cool.
very nice, very nice.
And you're looking so beautiful. All of
thank
us.
you.
Yeah, that was so nice.
Thank you so much. We want to say thank you to Apostle Jerome, because he has taken his time to go through all our shows and to get all these clips for us. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. We want to say thank you to Mr. Patrick, Evangelist Ifeanyi, Sister Kenny, Daudu. We really appreciate you, and all other guests. And to Eric too, we say thank you to all of you. You've really made our year. We appreciate guests. If you have any guests as our audience, if you think that, oh, this person will fit their show, you can suggest, you can ask us questions, you can send questions to us. with that clip, one topic that's really stand, what will I say, so high in my mind is still provocation. Provoke to action, because it's a topic that you experience daily. It's something that you cannot brush by the side, because if you are not experiencing provocation at home, you will be experiencing it at work. Your children may be provoking you one way or the other, so it's a daily thing. But what I discover is that it can be positive, it can be negative. So it's not depends on you, on how you handle each provocation. So, however, try to be positive minded in handling any situation that come to you. So it's going to help you. We want to say thank you to our audience. We have lots of people. Patricia, Mr. Brimoh.
That's your darling husband?
Yes, that is my that is my husband. Isioma Grace, thank you. Thank you for your comment. She said it's good to be neutral about every comment, because okay, whatever it says, okay. She's just commenting on our show generally. So thank you so much. Apostle Jerome said, we are so proud of you ladies, you deserve flowers. Thank you. And our audience, we thank you so much for this year. And as we are planning for 2024, we want you to please keep on joining us as we start the new year soon. Send us your questions, suggestions. If you think there is a topic or something that you are going through at home and you think, oh, it will be so good for us to talk about, please send it to us through the TV station. We will really appreciate it. The name of this TV station is the True Words television station. If you search Facebook, we are on Facebook. You can easily send us questions. So we thank you, we appreciate you. Please don't stop loving and liking our shows and comment. Invite your friends, invite your co-workers. We really wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Do you have anything to add?
We are so happy and grateful again for the good year that we have had together. So we are looking forward for 2024. And we are just inviting everyone. If you feel like there is a topic you want to come here and share, it's all about educating each other, educating our community, changing lives, and growing in wisdom and in knowledge and understanding. As much as we have grown during this year through the show that we are sharing with you, everyone are welcome to come and contribute something to our life and also to our community. So we look forward to have you next year again in 2024.
Thank you. I want to wish our audience and ourselves a happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year in advance. And I want to leave this with our audience. Please give this season a meaning. That meaning that we serve you well. That meaning that we give you joy, peace, happiness, and unity. Try not to allow the meaning others are giving this season to create issue for your home. I remember last week, Claudine, the daughter was requesting a show of 1,500. If you can't afford it, if it is only $1 you can afford it with love, with kindness. Spend time to love yourself. Spend time to appreciate yourself. And we look forward to seeing you next year. Remember, if you stress yourself to death and you reach to that gate, the angels will slap you back to the earth. So anything that will cause stress, that will cause you heart attack, please avoid it, and don't forget to pray. In all things, acknowledge God. So we look forward to seeing everyone, and next year 2024 in good health and a sound. My God bless you, and keep the fan flaming, the fan of love, of unity and peace, and God's presence in your life and in your home. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a wonderful 2024. Have a wonderful evening. See you next year.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Bye.
When it is Tuesday on the True Word Television, it is time to explore the True Wellness Connections.
Welcome again to the True Wellness Connection. My name is Claudine Salumu.
Today is Tuesday.
Especially on Tuesdays like this, we talk about a lot of topics.
Join Mrs. Claudine Salumu.
I am not saying you should not love yourself for who you are, but you should want to do something even better.
Victoria Masio
You just have to be honest with yourself.
and Elizabeth Brimoh
The way you live tells so much to the kids.
to talk health, wealth, parenting, relationship, finances, and life at large.
Because any negative thought, trust me, does never build anybody, can only destroy us.
Look deep inside your pocket, your bank account.
The way you handle situations at home matters.
The True Wellness Connections, every Tuesday on the True Word Television, 5:30, Winnipeg.
There is a day on the True Word Television.
Today is Tuesday. Welcome to True Wellness Connections.
A day full of fun.
I can see like the ingredient, the recipe is coming up like you want it to really be.
Inspiration.
Be ready to listen. As you are listening, you are not just listening to the story, but you are asking for wisdom.
Education.
Don't begin to assume that when you go to school, your accent, nobody's going to understand you. They are going to understand you.
Guidance.
If you can make up your mind to say, I'm not going to allow my situation to define me, you will find peace.
Day full of true wellness.
It's going to be amazing, awesome, wonderful, and powerful.
Join these amazing ladies to talk health, wealth, parenting, social, moral, and community values.
You need people that will bring out the best in you. You need people that will believe in that vision or dream.
Claudine Salumu.
In this life, if you do not have hope, you will never live, you will never survive.
Victoria Masio.
When I say you need to look deep down in your bank account, it was me. To be honest.
Elizabeth Brimoh.
A lot of homes have been robbed of joy just because of sex.
And Pastor Blessing Ngozi Iheka.
Don't focus on the computer. Don't focus on your own one. Your wife needs your attention.
Do you want to be well?
You don't want to miss it out. I'm telling you, it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to be really lifting.
The problem will be resolved and you'll have a fresh beginning. So you guys have fun.
Don't miss a single episode of the True Wellness Connections on the True Word Television Network every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.